Is Israel losing Western support amid the Gaza war? Is that pushing Israel to consider a hostage deal with Hamas? Is the United States leading secret diplomacy towards a hostage exchange in Gaza? Has Israel realized that if it needs America's support, it needs to make some concessions? Why do I ask these questions tonight? Because negotiations to free hostages are quietly underway. And now, Netanyahu has hinted at talks of a deal. This is big, because as the humanitarian crisis in Gaza intensifies, people have been asking, does Netanyahu prioritize victory over civilian lives? So far, Netanyahu has flatly rejected calls for a ceasefire, and Hamas has also suspended hostage release talks after Israel's El Shifa hospital bombing. So then, what could this possibly entail? What could this potential deal entail? On Sunday, the Israeli Prime Minister told US media that there could be a deal on hostage release. However, he refrained from giving any specifics about the plan. He appeared cautious. He said, and I quote, "There could be a deal on hostages, but I think the less I say about it, the more I'll increase the chances that it materializes." Netanyahu said that Israel wasn't close at all to a deal until his military started its ground operation in Gaza. He argues that any possible deal was a result of military pressure on the Hamas group. In a series of appearances on US talk shows, he sought to make it clear that Israel was doing everything it could to secure the release of those held captive. The US also spoke about a potential hostage deal. White House National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said, and I quote, "Active negotiations and conversations going on with our counterparts in the region." He too, like Netanyahu, stayed quiet on details. He added, "The less said publicly about these sensitive negotiations and conversations, probably the better." On Sunday, US President Joe Biden spoke with Qatari leader Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. According to a White House statement, Biden has expressed appreciation to Qatar for securing the release of hostages from Hamas, including American citizens. The White House stressed that Biden unequivocally condemned the holding of hostages by Hamas, including many young children, one of whom is a 3-year-old American toddler whose parents were killed by Hamas during its assault on October 7th. Both leaders concurred that all hostages must be released without further delay. According to US media reports, the US is actively involved in the hostage diplomacy. This week, Brett McGurk, the President Biden's top Middle East advisor, that is reportedly en route to Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. McGurk is a key figure in these negotiations, alongside US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. As per reports, active negotiations are ongoing between Israel and Qatar. Remember, Qatar is in communication with Hamas. The US is actively participating in these discussions. It seems the main hurdles in these talks revolve around Hamas not providing a list of hostages held, or those they could release as part of a potential deal. And let's not forget, other terror groups like the Islamic Jihad have also reportedly taken hostages, including children. Naturally, this is complicating the situation. The US and Qatari diplomats are zeroing in on civilian hostages, especially children and elderly captives. There are also Israeli military personnel believed to be held captive as of now. This adds another layer of complexity to the situation. So it's safe to say Israel is grappling with a big dilemma as its military campaign in Gaza continues. The question is, will Israel opt for any type of ceasefire to secure the release of hostages, or will it risk their lives by pressing ahead with its offensive against Hamas? Keep in mind, Hamas is believed to have a substantial part of its infrastructure cleverly tucked away in an intricate network of underground tunnels, where many hostages are presumed to be held. Israel asserts it has the technology to dismantle this tunnel threat, with forces already working to destroy them on war footing. However, it's not without risk. It could come at the cost of hostages' lives. Today, the toll of the Israeli bombardment stands at over 11,000 Palestinian lives. Around 240 people continue to be held captive in Gaza by Hamas. Even though Israel's closest ally, America, is yet to demand a ceasefire, there is growing international chorus for a ceasefire in Gaza, including calls from Europe. All this has prompted the US, which has vowed staunch support for Israel, to become increasingly vocal about the need to spare civilian lives. And America's influence has worked, with Israel agreeing to daily 4-hour pauses in fighting so that aid can go to Gaza, crucial life-saving aid. But how far US backdoor diplomacy influences Israel's action in Gaza remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and watch as the situation unfolds. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.